Yo, what's up, everyone? This video, we're looking at the 9-game slate for Monday. As usual, we'll look at Draftkings and then we'll switch on over to Fanduel. So let's get into it. You can like the video down below and subscribe. Let's try to get 150 likes on the video. And if you want to join, you can visit the website. Links in description. So starting off at point guard here, I'm liking quite a bit of options. The 3 guys at the top are really good plays. If Irving is a go, then he could be a nice option at just 8,500. We'll see on his status. Westbrook is still at 8,300. He's been awful, mainly due to the fact that he can't hit a shot, 5 of 21, 6 of 20. But he's also just not, he's definitely taken a backseat to Harden after the first couple games where he was dominating. But I guess the Rockets figured out that if you take the ball out of Westbrook's hand, put it in Harden's hand, then they've been doing well with Harden running the show. So 83 is fine, but I think that he's not underpriced. He's priced where he should be given his role. He will top 50, 55 fantasy points every once in a while, like every couple times a week, but I don't think he should be back. He's never going to be the 10K guy that he was in OKC. Donovan Mitchell sticks out a little bit here, 7,900, facing off against the Timberwolves. He's been great, pretty consistent all year, 30s and 40s and 50s. The Timberwolves terrible on defense, can't stop anybody, and they're going to miss probably Andrew Wiggins again. He's doubtful. And Chris Paul at 66 is just pretty appealing just based on price. Brogdon, he was listed out on Fantasy Labs. We'll see. Now he's saying questionable. Don't really know. I expect him to be out, though. But that would open up minutes for Aaron Holiday, who's priced up. But if TJ McConnell can give it a go, he would be nice. Play at 3,500 as a backup. But point guard, I'm definitely loving Damian Lillard, 8,600 for a bunch of reasons. First reason is that he plays a ton of minutes. He's averaging 39 minutes on the year, 38.6. In close games, they put him out there for 40 minutes, even in regulation. Just you're getting him anytime you get Damian Lillard, cheap Damian Lillard under 9K, playing 40 minutes a night almost. Coming off of 2 terrible games, 2 of his worst shooting performances, definitely of the season. 4 of 19 and 2 of 12, couldn't hit a shot. But I expect him to bounce back here against this Houston team. Bad against point guards, or bad just overall as a defense. If they miss Capella again, there'll be nobody in the paint to block off Damian Lillard. 8,600 for Lillard, just so cheap. And especially with McCollum being 7,300. Usually with McCollum and Damian Lillard, I like to go to, McCollum, I would go to him if he's like $3,000 cheaper than Lillard, like he was when he was 6K and Lillard was 9K. But when there's only like $1,300 difference, might as well just pay up for Lillard because he can top 60, 50, 60, and even 70 if he's going nuts. At shooting guard here, Luka Doncic, 9,800. He's been amazing all year, super consistent. He is almost averaging a triple-double on the year. He just does it all for the team, dominates the usage rate. Matchup against San Antonio, they have bottom third in defense. They're not as good a defense as they were. Even with DeJounte Murray, he's limited to 24 minutes, so it's not like he's going to defend Luka the whole night. And he basically plays like 4 or 5 minute stints. At 9,800, Luka at home price tag is appealing, under 10K. He has topped 70 fantasy points already 4 times this year. He should be priced above 10K. With you getting a $2,200 discount from Harden. I think I want to take advantage of that with Luka Doncic. Small forward I'll skip over, but just mention a couple guys. Giannis, obviously the cream of the crop at 11.3. We'll see if Kawhi Leonard can give it a go. If he's not, then Paul George, jump on him at 81. He would definitely see his minutes go up, but if Kawhi's in, then I'll kind of just take a wait-and-see approach with them. DeRozan's cheap, 7,100. Gallinari sticks out as a decent option just because there's not a ton in the mid-range at small forward. See if Jeremy Lamb can give it a go. He's missed some time. If he's not going to be on a minutes limit, then I would have some interest there at just 6,000, just because the minutes, if the minutes are going to be there, then the production should be there without Brogdon. Miles Turner missed a bunch of games, and they put him over 30 minutes in his first game back, so I don't think he'll be on a minutes limit, and if that's the case, 6K for him sticks out. If he's out, then Warren sticks out at 57, just because he's going to be the number one option to shoot the basketball. He took 21 shots, only made 6 of them against the Bucks, but it's a much better matchup against Brooklyn. And then Wiggins is doubtful, so Covington, you can go back to him at 55. And then for value plays, you can look at like Anunoby, Clarkson, Jarrett Culver, maybe Nick Batum if you're feeling that way, but just never really played Batum, although, if he played 29 minutes at 4,300, he can probably pay off his salary, but just not an exciting play at all. And then you could go with one of the Bucks guys like Sterling Brown at 3,900 or Dante DiVincenzo 4K. Power forward here, still got Giannis. Siakam's been playing over 40 minutes in 4 straight games. They are so banged up that they are just throwing Siakam and throwing Van Fleet, running them to the ground. Really good matchup against Charlotte. It will be a nightmare for them defending Siakam. This one of the worst defenses in basketball right now. I think that Siakam's a great play. I also like Kevin Love, 7,800. He struggled against Philly. It was a blowout, only played 25 minutes. But I think that's good for him. He only played 25 minutes in a back-to-back. So hopefully he'll still be kind of fresh for this one. Matchup against the Knicks, they've struggled against centers this year, even though they do have a bunch of centers on the team. But I think it'll be tough for them trying to defend Kevin Love at the 4. He has tailed off. He slowed down a little bit after his hot start to the year, but he's still getting the job done. He's still the number one option on offense, and always a chance for a double-double with him. I want to go with a couple guys that are right around the 6K range. Go back to Wendell Carter at 6,000. He fouled out in just 21 minutes against his Bucks team last time out. They're at home this time. Still a good match. The Bucks have struggled against centers all year, centers and power forwards. Let's look at the DVP for them. Wendell Carter is just playing. He's averaging well over a point per minute, and in competitive games, you're going to see 35-ish minutes, 35 to 37, and as long as he's not in foul trouble. So I think at 6K, his price tag is still really appealing for a guy that does have 40-point upside at a really good mid-range price. Anytime you get a center at that price tag, you got to be interested. And then speaking of centers, you got Miles Turner, 6K, Lauri Markkanen, 59, DeAndre Jordan, 57, Tristan Thompson, 56. These are the 4 guys at the mid-range that stick out. Out of those 4, I would rank it Turner, Thompson, Markkanen, Jordan in terms of my interest. Just rock with Miles Turner here, 6,100. Played 33 minutes in his first game back after missing about 2 weeks, and didn't look slowed down at all. Had a double-double. He's always one of the best blocking centers in the league. Had 4 blocks and a steal. Put up 44 fantasy points at only 6,100. Price tag is really, really cheap for an incredible matchup against Brooklyn. At guard here, I'm going to go Jeff Teague. As of now, there's not a ton of value on the slate right now. I'm sure that will open up later in the day, but Teague with Wiggins doubtful will still get much more usage. He basically can get a double-double. He was only 1 bucket shy. He only had 8 points, but he had 12 assists. And he's going to run the show quite a bit without Wiggins there at 5,600 against the Jazz. Tough matchup, but he can still he can still put up mid-30s, get you in the 40s in fantasy points with the added usage, and the minutes should still be there as long as they don't get blown out. And then last but not least, at util, Tristan Thompson is just really appealing. I was considering Kevin Love, but when you get Tristan Thompson, much cheaper than Kevin Love, a guy that is still as consistent just because he's basically a lock for a double-double almost every night, at least 9 rebounds. And the matchup here against the Knicks, they will need a big guy like him out there all times because they do play like Taj Gibson at center, although he's not that big, but they have Mitchell Robinson. They have they're a big team, so it's not like they're going to go small. They basically have inability to go small with all the power forwards they have on the team. 56 for Turner, Thompson, a guy that's averaging 36 fantasy points. So he's priced at a point where he's averaging like 6.5x return. If you look at his average on the year, definitely too cheap on Draftkings. Definitely want to take advantage of that. So that's what I like for Draftkings. Let's go to Fanduel here. And on Draftkings, Aaron Holiday's priced up to like 55, but Fanduel, whatever reason, they are just not pricing him up. He's up to 4,100, so price tag went up by $100. He's too cheap on FanDuel. Looks like Brogdon's going to miss. At least that's what Fantasy Lab said. If he does make a return, then won't be as appealing, but he's still at a point where he can pay off a $4,100 salary if Lamb is out again. So as of now, I like him quite a bit. At shooting guard, I like Dinwiddie, 5,800. Dinwiddie, he drew the start with Irving out. If that's the case, then he's going to be one of the best value plays on the slate. If Irving's out again, even if Irving's in, you can still see decent minutes. With Irving in against Denver, he closed and he played 34 minutes. I think that's what you're going to see. He's a much better player than Garrett Temple. He can definitely play alongside Irving if he's healthy, just like he did last year with D'Angelo Russell. 5,800 for a guy that can play 34 minutes in a good, decent matchup against, Aaron Holiday. Have some interest there. And then also I think you could go with like Dennis Schroeder sticks out at 5,700. If you're going cheap, you could go with like Powell at 4,600. And then if you want to pay up, you could go up to like Van Fleet, 7,800, just with the minutes that he plays. Small forward here, we have guys priced up. Giannis, 12.3. Paul George, 96. Siakam, 93. You know the minutes are going to be there for Siakam. You don't really know the minutes for Paul George, although both are incredible players. I kind of like Danilo Gallinari at 6,400 just because as of now, there's not a ton of options here at small forward that look really appealing. In this range, you have Morris, Bogdanovich, Oubre, and Warren. And then you got Gallinari going back to LA to take on the Clippers. He is pretty consistent on the season. When he gets minutes, he can be productive. The only problem is that he's kind of been in like this 30 to 32 minute range all year. And last time out against Philly was overtime, so he saw 5 more minutes. But we know he can go off. When he shooting the ball well, he can put up like 40 fantasy points. So as of now, I don't mind having him in here. Power forward here is where I'll probably take on, like Kevin Love at 8,200 just because I think the matchup's good. I think he's going to have a big game very soon. He's kind of struggled recently. Had a good game against Miami, but they are taking on the Knicks on the road. Should be a pretty close game. Neither team is very good. And 8,200 for Kevin Love is on a FanDuel where you have like Randall at the same and a similar price range, Tatum, Porzingis. I think those guys are fine, but I like Kevin Love's upside, and then I kind of like LaMarcus Aldridge as well. And then at center, Miles Turner definitely sticks out. You got kind of the same options except on FanDuel. Tristan Thompson, 7,300. Too expensive on FanDuel, I would say, compared to DraftKings. Turner, 69. You get those added points for blocks. So blocks and steals, which is more appealing on FanDuel. And then if DeAndre Jordan starts, you could go to him at 61. So that's kind of what I'm looking at a center here. But I think Turner at 69 in a really good matchup against the Nets. They've just been destroyed by bigs all year. And Turner, if Sabonis is questionable, if he misses, then we'll get even more usage and more opportunity at the center position. So that's what I like for FanDuel, and that's what I like for DraftKings. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can like the video if you enjoyed, and good luck today.